Hello class 11th student, this is the recap video of hydrogen bonding. So if you have not attended the live classes, then through this video lecture you can understand hydrogen bonding. So topic is hydrogen bonding. Topic is hydrogen bonding. So when hydrogen is bonded with higher electronegative element like fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen, then it results in formation of hydrogen bonding. It is a dipole-dipole interaction. So before studying this hydrogen bonding, let's have an idea of dipole. What is dipole? So first question I write here, what is dipole? What is dipole? Dipole is a system of two equal and opposite charges separated by very small distance. When two equal and opposite charges are separated by very small distance, then such system is called dipole. For example, if you write here plus q and minus q, so here you can see both charges are equal in magnitude. Magnitude of this charge is q as well as magnitude of this charge is also q. Magnitude of both the charges are same, and it is separated by very small distance. I write this small distance as r. So if we have to define dipole, then we will write dipole moment vector P equals to q into r with unit vector n. So dipole moment, when we say dipole is a system of two equal and opposite charges separated by very small distance. But when we say dipole moment vector, it is product of magnitude of one of the charge and separation between them. Dipole moment vector is a vector quantity, so it will follow the vector addition method. For example, if I say HCl, then HCl has dipole. HCl has dipole because H carries plus charge and Cl carries minus charge, partial plus and partial. Here whatever is the magnitude of positive charge on hydrogen atom, same magnitude is there on chlorine atom also. So we can say that here there is formation of dipole. Two equal and opposite charges separated by very small distance. In case of HCl, this is nuclear distance between the hydrogen and chlorine. Or we can say that separation between nucleus of hydrogen and nucleus of chlorine. So we can write dipole moment vector P equals to Q into R. It follows vector law of addition. If any molecule has dipole moment vector, if I say dipole moment vector, this notation is used in physics. In chemistry, we use the notation mu. In chemistry, usually we use the notation mu. So when we say dipole moment vector mu, then dipole moment mu decides whether molecule is polar or non-polar. If the net dipole moment of any molecule is 0, then that molecule is said to be non-polar, and if net dipole moment is not equal to 0, it has some magnitude, in that case molecule will be polar. So polarity depends on two things. First thing is that there should be electronegativity difference between the molecule. If we say O2 molecule, in case of O2 molecule, there will be no formation of dipole, there will not be dipole, because in oxygen both the atoms have same electronegativity, so electronegativity difference is 0. When oxygen will make bond, oxygen is making bond, the electronegativity of both the oxygen atom is same, so there is no formation of poles, there will be no formation of charge, positive or negative, and when there will be no formation of charge, there will be no dipole, so in this case dipole moment vector will be 0. But if electronegativity difference exists, for example if we take here HCl, here electronegativity difference is present between hydrogen and chlorine, so here dipole moment vector will not be equal to 0. In this case, if we write mu dipole moment mu net, this value will be equal to charge on one of the atoms into separation between them. So here we cannot say that net dipole moment is equal to 0. In this case, HCl, we cannot say that net dipole moment of HCl molecule is 0. Here net dipole moment is not equal to 0. Okay. It is not necessary that if electronegativity difference exists, then that molecule will be polar. It is possible that there is electronegativity difference, but even though the net dipole moment is 0 and molecule is non-polar. If we take the example of H2O water molecule, it is polar for two reasons. First one is there is net dipole moment. If we check here, then one dipole moment will act in this direction, one dipole moment will act in this direction. So if we represent this vectorly, we can say that here one dipole moment is acting in this direction with water molecule and one dipole moment is acting in this direction. So the net dipole moment will be sum of, suppose this one is mu1, this one is mu2, then here mu net we can write mu net equals to mu1 plus mu2. Here we can write mu net equals to mu1 plus mu2. We can write here mu net equals to mu1 plus mu2. Now if we take another example of sulfur dioxide, suppose if we take SO2 as double bond O. In this molecule also there is net dipole moment. One dipole moment is acting in this direction, another dipole moment is acting in this direction. So net dipole moment will be this. So in this molecule also net dipole moment is there, so SO2 is polar. But if we take example of CCl4, carbon tetrachloride, suppose if we take example of CCl4, carbon tetrachloride, then in case of carbon tetrachloride, CCl4, all the dipole moments are acting opposite to each other. So all dipole moments cancel out each other. The resultant of these two dipole moment will come in this direction, that will be cancelled out by this dipole moment. So we can say here mu net is 0. Mu net in case of CCl4 is 0. Due to net dipole moment, CCl4 carbon tetrachloride is non-polar molecule. It is non-polar. Now if we take the example of CO2, CO2 has C double bond O, C double bond O, it is linear in shape. If we see the dipole, then one dipole will act in this direction and one dipole will act in opposite direction. Both the dipole have same magnitude, so both the dipole will cancel out each other. And when both will cancel out each other, net dipole moment will be 0. Here we can write mu net equals to 0. So CO2 is non-polar molecule because net dipole moment of CO2 molecule is 0. So we say that it is non-polar. This one is non-polar. CO2 is non-polar. But if we take the example of CO, carbon monoxide, CO, then in this case net dipole moment will not be equal to 0. If we write CO, then here net dipole moment will be 0. Net dipole moment will not be equal to 0. Mu net will not be equal to 0. As mu net is not equal to 0, so it is polar. So we can say it is. So here in these examples we have clearly seen that it is not necessary that if electronegativity difference exists, then molecule will be polar, and it is also not necessary that if electronegativity difference does not exist, then molecule will be polar. For example, O2. In O2 there is no electronegativity difference between oxygen atoms because both have same electronegativity. Net electronegativity difference 0, that's why O2 is non-polar. Usually all homoatomic molecules are non-polar. O2, N2, C2, whatever molecule will take which have the same electronegativity or electronegativity difference 0, these molecules will be non-polar. But if electronegativity difference exists, then molecule may be or may not be polar. It will be polar when the net dipole moment is not equal to 0. But if net dipole moment is equal to 0, in that case it will be non-polar. So this was the concept of dipole moment. Now we will study next hydrogen bonding. So in polar molecule, if hydrogen is bonded with fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen, remember this word FON form. If hydrogen is bonded either with fluorine or with oxygen or with nitrogen, in that case the dipole moment will be very strong and the dipole-dipole interaction between the molecules will be very strong. Due to this strong dipole-dipole interaction, a special term is given for this dipole-dipole interaction known as hydrogen bonding. The bond dissociation enthalpy of hydrogen bonding is very high. It is around 10 kJ per mole, and due to this high bond dissociation enthalpy, a separate term is given hydrogen bonding. So first you have to remember the first and the most important condition for hydrogen bonding is hydrogen must stand attached with either with fluorine or oxygen or nitrogen. So if we see the molecule like NH3, H2O, HF, HCOH, HCOH or CH3COH, or in all these molecules you can see that hydrogen is bonded with higher electronegative element, that is here bonded with fluorine, here hydrogen is bonded with oxygen, here hydrogen is bonded with nitrogen, in this case also hydrogen is bonded with oxygen, here also hydrogen is bonded with oxygen. So in all the cases hydrogen is bonded with either fluorine, oxygen or nitrogen. So these molecules shows hydrogen bonding. So what is hydrogen bonding? It is dipole-dipole attraction between two molecules. One atom, in these two molecules, one atom must be hydrogen, another atom must be high electronegative element, that is fluorine, oxygen or nitrogen. So some important points about hydrogen bonding. The first is it is dipole-dipole attraction force. It is dipole first is it is dipole-dipole attraction. This bond forms between hydrogen and higher electronegative element. Hydrogen bonding important point, hydrogen bonding forms between hydrogen bonded to FON. The bond will be between hydrogen. Which hydrogen? The hydrogen which is bonded to fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen, and higher electronegative element like fluorine, oxygen and nitrogen. In that case, whatever bond will form, that bond is called hydrogen bonding. Third point, bond dissociation enthalpy of this hydrogen bonding is high, that is 2 to 10 kJ per mole. Bond dissociation enthalpy, or we can say bond enthalpy. Bond enthalpy bond in dissociation enthalpy is 2 to 10 kilojoule per mole. So these are the properties of hydrogen bonding. There are two types of hydrogen bonding. One hydrogen bonding is called intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Another hydrogen bonding is called intramolecular hydrogen bonding.